Hey there, it's Craig Ansell from the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm super excited over here because we have our first guest video interview. It's none other than American Idol's William Hung, and it's a two-part series. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel, Career Growth Made Easy, and subscribe. You won't want to miss this. Hey there, Career Growth Made Easy listeners. We have a special treat today. We're doing two things new. One, we're dropping it on YouTube in full video and audio format, but we have an incredibly special guest today. His name is William Hung. Congratulations, Williams, for being on the show, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I am too. I'm really appreciative of having the ability to meet you at the most recent Podfest in Orlando. I think we were doing the pre-registration Wednesday night. We bumped into each other, and it was really an honor to get to know you and a little bit more about your story.
Yes.
Hey, I understand, if I understand correctly, I'm looking to do a little bit about your background and just get to know you and share for my listeners. Are you originally from Hong Kong?
Yes, I was born there.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Is there a specific city or province or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm in a more rural area, Shatin. So it's not Kowloon or the Hong Kong, the Bay, like not the big city, like
Okay.
like Jinsha. Yeah, yeah. But now it's also a very busy city. It's not the same as before.
Oh, understood. It's had some growth and probably like the United States has in certain areas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in sharing, but do you want to talk a little bit about your background as far as how you grow up and kind of like the schools you've attended and things? Because I know I was a little interested doing some research on you.
Well, I studied like a normal kid for about 10 years. I went to fourth grade,
Mhm.
and then my dad got a new job in the United States. That's why my parents and I immigrated to the US.
Okay.
Then my dad got laid off after 6 months in Pennsylvania, and then we had to decide we want to continue. And then he decided that maybe he give us another chance to move to LA. It was a big risk at the time because if he didn't get a better job in LA, that's it. We're done. We have to go back to Hong Kong. But he did. He did find a better job. It's been a challenging to grow up. It's not like I didn't grow up having everything. So I learned a lot from how my parents had to pinch every penny for every meal that we eat, any clothes that we buy, and that's the background I grew up from.
Oh. No, I appreciate you sharing that. And, um, you know, moving to the US was a major transition for you and your family. And then unfortunately, that job loss right afterwards was pretty sudden and I'm sure traumatic, right?
Yeah,
I've been native to the U.S., but one thing that I did know about your father and that we have in common is that's part of the reason why I have my podcast is that I was working towards 12 years of dedicated service with the company. And then, due to the economy collapse in 2008, I suddenly lost my job. And
yeah.
so one day you're working towards 12 years of dedicated service, or in your father's case, he's working on his 6 months of dedicated service. And then the next day, you either have a reduction in force, a RIF, we have nicknames for them, or you have reduced hours or a job loss. It's pretty sad. So I'm glad to hear that you guys recovered, but at the same time, like you said, you literally had to count every penny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the counting of pennies and things like that, when you started to learn that or see that, what was your perspective on it? What kind of emotion did you have? Were you upset about your father's situation? Were you trying to understand? I mean, if you take me through the way you were feeling at the time?
To me, not having very much to live on, is I almost wanted to accept that as normal. Maybe that is normal because in some ways I was already ahead. I know and that's very subjective, but I was already ahead of people who need the food stamps just to survive.
I see. I see. So you looked at yourself, if I may, in a way that you were blessed. You had certain benefits, even though there were the challenges. You saw it as not just having the need for no income and food stamps, but that you had that, and it was kind of taken away temporarily. Is that a way to say it?
Yeah, so I feel like as a my family and was definitely one step ahead of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the way you're thinking about that and the way you share that, and I do appreciate that. You know, it was hard on ourselves too. My family, I have a family of five. If I didn't share that with you during the Podfest, and you know, losing your job, what I did was we went into battle stations mode. It's like, oh my God, Dad comes home one day, you know, and he's not employed. What do we do? So
Yeah.
I can sympathize with you and your family on that. And then after you recovered from that, what did you know? I did a little bit of research on you. What did the rest of your education look like? It looks like you and I have something in common that you eventually worked towards technical skills or engineering.
Yes, I studied very hard for math and science. Those are the subjects I was very good at. I got straight A's in middle school, high school. I thought academics was very easy for me.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And then I got accepted to study at UC Berkeley for
Wow.
civil engineering.
Well, I'll stop you there. Thank you for sharing that much so far. So the first thing is congratulations on the high grades, the straight A's. You are talking to someone, William, that does not have that same philosophy. I've tried and tried, but I just couldn't achieve those scores. So I hope that's okay. Yeah. So interesting. So you actually UC Berkeley, what a renowned school. So you know, what drove you there?
Well, I applied for 3 to 4 good universities at the time. So Berkeley, UCLA, Riverside, and Irvine. Those are the four I applied, and then but for some reason the other three did accept me, and then UCLA didn't take me. Uh, it would be a very difficult choice if I got accepted both UCLA and Berkeley, but between Berkeley and the other two, I don't think it's much of a decision there.
Oh no, no, that's fantastic. I'm really happy for you. Yes. So how far along did you go in your studies? Because it looks like you did go towards a technical path or an engineering path, right?
Yeah, I studied about 2 years and try to get through it basically. But I wasn't doing that great. It's so different. Like I started struggling with classes. I even failed one of my classes for the first time.
See,
I
now
it
that we have in common.
all right. It's so weird. I thought like, wait, what happened there? I studied the same way, but I couldn't absorb the material. I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzle. So I couldn't solve it. And then I figure out, okay, what else can I do in my life? Then fortunately I got some help. I talked to people like classmates, and then I found some like really good study partners from a Bible study. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, so that I didn't expect, but it worked out. I finally turned things around. I wasn't getting straight A's, but I did okay. But then I still feel like, wow, this is such a struggle, and I don't enjoy that struggle because everybody has their own passion, has their own that unique thing, if that's what you call it, that you feel like, okay, if I struggle with this, I still feel okay. I want to learn, I want to
Mhm.
improve. Maybe that wasn't it. And one day I saw this poster for a school talent show and anybody could do anything. But I thought, why not? Let's just try and see what happens. So I watched some music videos online. I saw Ricky Martin's She Bangs, She
Oh,
Bangs. Uh, it was so hilarious, and I feel like it's so unique as well because it's so different from, let's say, the Katy Perry or the Tim McGraw kind of music. So I just thought I'd try, see what happens. And to my surprise, I won.
it's outstanding. Okay. And was that at UC Berkeley then?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So where did that take you then?
Well, and then a few days later, I saw on the news there was American Idol audition coming to San Francisco.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, what's incredible timing. Let's try, let's see what happens. I skipped a few days of school and I went for it. And then what most people don't know is that you need to go through multiple rounds before
Mm.
you get to see the celebrity judges, Randy, Paula, and Simon. The first round, I even thought like, okay, well, most people they were just giving the signal to go home, bye bye, right? I just thought, okay, no expectations. But then somehow they told me to step aside. They talked to me more, and then they let me through. They gave me
Wow.
the orange ticket to come back the next day. I never forget
Nice.
that one. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. But then that's what. And but then what's interesting about the whole experience in the beginning was like I sang a different song. It wasn't She Bangs. I
Oh,
remember it was Two Worlds by Phil Collins because I thought maybe it was better for my vocal range. But
okay.
then, but then the one of the staff, she asked me like, "What other songs do you know?" And I told her, "Well, I know She Bangs because I sang it. I won with the song in school." And she said, "You should totally do that one. It would be so much more fun." And that's
Nice.
why I did. Yeah.
No, that's nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, my daughter Madison, who is also my digital manager and social media manager, she has a pretty strong talents in uh, being on stage, singing and such, and playmaking. And she actually had been the first round of America's Got Talent, and so we had to travel down. I think it was to Tampa or Tallahassee. It was a few years ago, but unfortunately, we didn't receive the orange ticket like you did, right? So it's really exciting to find that you went to the next round on that.
Yeah.
And even with her seeing America's Got Talent and being there and auditioning, there are such a wide variety, a wide range of people, the skills they have, magicians, singers, artists, all kinds of stuff. So it's really interesting that you actually were able to use two different songs, right?
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. While you were going through that trial process on the American Idol, the tryouts. What did you think about it? Were you around dozens of people, hundreds of people? I mean, what were you feeling and processing?
Well, it was like thousands of people. I remember it was about 3,000 people for the year I tried out.
Wow.
Uh, but most people that I saw, they were very serious. To them, it's like life or death, whether they or not they make it to Hollywood.
Mhm.
And that makes sense because I don't know that person by name, but one of the gentlemen, I remember he said he traveled all the way from Nashville just to get that chance in San Francisco.
Oh wow, wow! Yeah, it's all the way across the country, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. It's really wonderful that your background there, and then actually what kind of kicked it off was UC Berkeley thing. I never would have thought of that. That's great. So after that initial audition, then you had to come back, you said, for a couple rounds. So what kind of
Yes.
time period is that in your experience, and how did you feel as you went through it?
Well, it was the very next day. Uh,
Oh,
so
okay,
uh,
okay.
so she the staff and her name is Megan Wolf. Like I don't mind putting out there because she's now one of the producers for the American Idol.
Okay.
But at the time she was one of the staff members. She told me that I need to wear better clothes than the first day. I need to look better. So I look at my closet and I found like those black pants, the slacks, and then the Hawaiian blue shirt. I thought that was the best thing I could find, and I went with it. And next day I went to the Radisson Hotel, and then I auditioned in front of the producers. Every round, my thought was like, okay, I could be done right there.
Right.
You never know. And then somehow they let me through. And then I got a chance to stand in front of Randy, Paula, and Simon.
Wow.
And my nobody knew that, but my feet were shaking. My butterflies came to my stomach, and that's why when my audition, I was singing, dancing like I was doing Zumba exercises on TV. Not my proudest moment.
Oh no, that's truly amazing that you got to that final round. What was it? Was it on a stage like we see on TV, or was this all happening in the hotel, like in your conference rooms and type of things?
It feels like a big room with one table in the middle, a wooden floor, and that's how it felt like. It's almost like you are all by yourself and you're facing three judges.
Yeah. Wow, wow. Yeah, many times we work with that when we talk about interviews, and you literally were being interviewed, but it was for, getting on TV with American Idol. That's amazing. That's amazing. So did you use that song in fact to interview with?
Yeah, she bangs, and
Oh,
and then I as soon as I began my audition, Randy held up this white sheet of paper to cover up his face and giggled throughout the audition. He was like, and
man.
then when I saw that, I knew I wasn't going to go to Hollywood, but I just kept going, kept having fun. And then Simon was running all the way like this. Eventually, he put out his hands like, "Thank you, thank you. You can't sing, you can't dance. So what do you want me to say?"
Oh
And that's
man, oh
I
man.
know.
Yeah, I understand those comments can be hurtful. Then it's 3-on-1, right? You're in the kind of spotlight, so to speak. I'd like to address a few things before we move a little bit forward with that in interview judging. When you were doing the activity, you said they kind of put their hands up or covered their faces. What was going on in your mind? Did you feel like I'm going to stop this, or did you decide I'm going to go forward? I'm going to give it my all. What were you feeling at that time?
I was going to give it my all until they stopped me at some point.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. And I understand, unfortunately, there were some more harsh comments about you during the show, and they can emotionally, they can really, I would say, hijack you. Right? They can take you out of your mindset into a really dark place. But I don't know if you'd like to share a little bit about that. But part of, I think, the interest that myself and others have for you, and when we first met and started to become friends, was just, I think, your energy and your resilience. And if you don't mind, because this is a career growth show, a lot of people go through struggles, go through challenges, including things like your father's job loss. Where do you get your energy from, and how did you handle that situation when they were kind of giving you that negative feedback?
Well, for the judges, I didn't take it very hard because I always knew that Simon was going to be the mean guy. Paula was going to be nice lady. It's almost like they are playing their roles
Mm,
in a movie or drama, wherever you call it. But what really hit me was after the audition
mhm,
when went viral on TV, and then the real critics came out, like the one of the news anchor, John Beard. He said like this is the worst singer ever.
mhm.
That's awful. That
Yeah.
didn't feel good. After it was literally the news. Right after the audition, they finished showing my audition that same night. So it is what it is. It already happened. I told myself I couldn't change the past. I could only control how I respond and how I plan for my future.
No, that's fantastic the way you're looking at it and did look at it. Was that back in 2004 or five? Your audition?
Yes, 2004,
Wow, wow. So where are we now? Geez.
2023.
Yeah, yeah, 19 years, right? Oh my God, the 20-year anniversary is coming. My God, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, I did a little additional checking while I was getting my setup here, and your name popped up. Were you recently on a reunion show?
Yes, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I went on the reunion show for American Idol. It was so much fun. Great to see everybody again.
Wow. So the fact I don't know if they invited you or you inquired, but the fact that you were there to be at that reunion show for 2022 American Idol, how did you feel? Was there like a comfort level, so to speak? Was there butterflies, or were you? What did you feel?
I feel so surreal. And after so many years, they still invite me to be part of it. And what Ryan Seacrest said, I'm one of the few people to put the show on the map. That's a big deal, you know.
Oh,
But
wow.
like that's an honor.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what an honor to be invited back. Just to be on stage again in front of, I imagine, hundreds, if not thousands or millions of people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thanks for watching my video interview with guest William Hung from American Idol. Don't forget to subscribe to our show, Career Growth Made Easy, so that when part 2 comes out next week, you'll be notified first. Oh, and don't forget, you can follow us on social media at Craig Ansell. That's Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.